Which tab open?
Just a tab on my computer. Been waiting to
Okay.
use.
Okay. It looks like it says this meeting is being live streamed.
All right. Well,
Hello? I don't know. I don't know if I've gotten the
good morning out
official
there, everybody.
notification.
Welcome to the morning
Oh,
show. Uh,
there we go. Yeah, my phone has officially notified me that the
Welcome
channel
to the In
is
Season
live.
Podcast. Officially, this is the In Season Podcast, and we would like to welcome everybody. There's been a little name change. We're still working on stuff. We're still new to this YouTube thing. Uh, Things will change, and hopefully, things don't change too much. Today, I was going to ask you, Mark. Did you hear about the new thing about Charlie Kirk's murderer? They said the
Uh,
gun that shot him probably didn't come from that gun that the guy is going to jail for.
I did not hear what? Wait, what? Really?
It couldn't have came from the gun that that man is shot that is being going to prison for that.
So he's a patsy? Oh my gosh. Conspiracy theory?
They said it couldn't have come from the gun. It says just weeks after reports of a bombshell claim by the defense of Tyler Robinson, who was accused of assassinating activist Charlie Kirk last year, there is a new twist in the case. According to multiple reports, documents filed by the defense in the case claim the bullet used in the assassination doesn't match the rifle that has been tied to Robinson. TMZ reported that Robinson's defense team is arguing that there is a discrepancy between the ballistic evidence and the weapon prosecutor say is connected to him. Now the ATF's report that has been unsealed and it shows its findings regarding Robinson, his gun and bullet used to kill Kirk. The ATF report claimed the bullet that killed Kirk showed signs that it could have been fired from Robinson's gun. It claims is that bullet was found to be a 30 caliber deformed damaged bullet jacket framed according to the New York Post. The outlet said the ATF could not determine whether the bullet was fired from Robinson's gun, but that it was the same caliber as the 30 the .30 through '06 rifle found near the scene of the shooting.
Yeah, 30
Yeah.
6 is a
Okay.
common well it's okay, I'll let you go on. 30 6. Yeah.
The ATF said the bullet fragment cannot be identified or excluded as having been fired from the gun tied to Robinson. The initial claims by the defense fueled conspiracy theories about Kirk's assassination on social media. Marjorie Taylor Greene shared a headline from the Daily Mail reporting the defense claim and replied with an eyeball emoji. Green posted again on X, writing, "The ATF could not match the bullet to Tyler Robinson's gun, and when the news breaks, the sheriff resigns." Washington County Sheriff Keith Brooksby resigned in March after meeting with the commissioner's office to address a few different allegations. There is no evidence that the resignation was tied to Kirk's assassination case. The former congresswoman from Georgia was not the only person talking about the claim by Robinson's defense team. This is not a minor evidentiary dispute, Brian Allen wrote on X. If the bullet doesn't match the gun, the prosecution's case has a fundamental problem. Mm. Yeah, so conspiracy theory. They're blaming a man that didn't do a shooting.
Well,
They're not sure.
I don't know. Yeah, from what I picked up out of there's some details that kind of slip in and try to slip by that um he couldn't it it couldn't be matched to the rifle that he has. The fragment that they have couldn't be matched to the rifle, nor could it be excluded right? So maybe yes, maybe no. They can't say for sure. So for them to take that and make a headline that the bullet couldn't be or was found to not have come from the rifle that he shot is disingenuous. It's misleading because it's technically true, but it's incomplete. And the rest of that, the information that was cherry picked from, says the complete opposite and makes the statement basically just moot. You know, it could have, it could not have. Which, I mean, for there to be a question mark at all is noteworthy. It's something to pay attention to, but it's not uncommon when you're working with just fragments of a bullet to have difficulty making like 100% certain identifications and statements on about these sort of things. So, yeah, I don't know. It's kind of quick to jump to conspiracy, and then the sheriff resigning is circumstantial. It's possibly related, maybe behind the scenes stuff, who knows what could have been happening. That's what they want you to think, or infer by making that statement, but they're not saying anything about it directly, so they um can't be charged with like libel or whatever, but they're saying enough that the reader kind of fills in the blanks, connects those dots, and forms a conspiracy theory for themselves in their own mind without the writer ever having actually written that conspiracy out. Everything that they wrote was technically true, but when it's read in the way that they wrote it, it sounds like something strange is afoot. And in reality, it could just be an investigation proceeding as normal. It's not uncommon to not have a lot of public information available at this point. It's only been a couple months and it's an ongoing investigation. They're not going to be, releasing and announcing everything. Um,
Mm, right.
I don't
I
know.
believe you.
Um, it's always important to try to pay attention to the language that news outlets use when they write these stories. It's it's very sneaky the way a lot of uh, a lot of outlets and writers can kind of slip by little things to try to push a certain viewpoint without technically technically crossing a line, right? They're not
Mhm.
completely going into the realm of wild speculation that could, get them in trouble legally, you know, civil
Yeah.
suit charge, but, you know, right up at that line. So, you know,
Check this article here I have. It says men caught competing in women's category of prestigious South African marathon. Two male runners in South Africa who were discovered fraudulently competing on behalf of female colleagues in a top marathon have been disqualified. Johannesburg AP, the two male runners who were discovered fraudulently completing on behalf of female colleagues in a top South African marathon have been disqualified and could face 2-year ban from the event alongside with the two women. The two women runners swapped their bibs with the two men who both finished within the top 10 of the U.S. half marathon. No, in the women's half marathon at the Two Oceans Marathon in Cape Town last Sunday, initially denying those slots to two female runners, but the cheating was discovered by a marathon board member, and men who were disqualified from their seventh and 10th place finishes. Two women were belatedly recognized instead. Larissa Larissa was accused of having Luke Jacobs run on her behalf, and Tegan Garvey was accused of having Nick Bradfield run on her behalf. Marathon board member Stuart Mann said all four runners faced disciplinary action that could include 2-year bans from the event. The two annual, the annual Two Oceans race is one of South Africa's iconic marathons and includes a 56-kilometer 34-mile run, ultra marathon, and a 21.1 kilometer half marathon. The event attracts over 16,000 participants and finishing among the top 10 in significant achievement for most runners. Yeah, can you imagine dressing up like a woman to run a marathon for women and then still getting caught?
I
That's
mean,
messed up.
yeah, well, I don't know. It's it's kind of not entirely, I don't know. I don't know how to bring this up without being controversial, but it's not that different from a lot of the trans athlete debates going on here in the United States. There's been male athletes who have transitioned and then competed
Playing
as
college
female
basketball,
athletes, and
uh,
then boom, right at the top of the
draft class.
right. So, the difference here is that, they're not identifying as a different gender. They're identifying as this other person, so it's different, but there's an element of similarity there. Um, you know, if it weren't for them impersonating their female teammates, um, you know, I don't know how would that necessarily be, um, yeah, and I don't know. It's
I was just gonna say that it reminds me of the same thing that you said. It reminds me of the things going on where they're trying to tell trans men they can't play college sports. That's what that reminded me about. Um,
trans men, so
Actually, it would
women
be
who are biological females who identify as male and have
poster.
transitioned, or um because that's, I'm not sure.
Um, yeah,
I,
that was. You wanna fill toaster in where we're at on this one?
I forgot where we're at. I forgot what we were even talking about.
There's
I
two
was
men that
I was
caught.
happy to see
They got
Toaster.
caught.
She just
They got caught
my
what they
whole train
called.
of thought.
Sorry.
No,
Um,
it's a good thing. Happy to
you
see Toaster.
Yeah, you came in at a good time.
Yeah,
But what we were talking about was there was two men who ran a marathon for two women. Um, And yeah, it was in Africa, but they got caught. But they placed in the top 10 first.
Yeah,
Uh,
okay, so they swapped the like the tag numbers or whatever in the with those of female teammates, and then those
it's,
men went and ran under the guise of being that female teammate, and that's how they got them placed up in the top 10.
yeah,
It's kind of bizarre, right?
It's very,
yeah.
Yeah.
very, very bizarre.
So, yeah, we were,
This was a week ago,
yeah.
exactly a week ago.
Oh, my.
Oh, oh no, actually 5 days ago. It was on the 17th, and it is
Exactly.
the 22nd.
Five
So
days.
yeah,
Okay. But,
yeah. That just reminded me of like the well, I don't know if they would say the male athletes that were trying to perform in college sports. Well,
yeah,
trans men. I don't know how people will take that, but I'll say it as it is.
the,
Um,
yes, the male athletes who transition and then compete
not
in
fair.
female athletics and just absolutely dominate, you know. Wasn't there one who did like in wrestling or something? And it was like, I don't know. I feel like I remember seeing one where it looked like just a, a man grappling and fighting a woman like almost half his size or something. I might be imagining or making that up. It may have been
Um,
staged as a joke. Um,
no, it's actually a thing. Yeah, it says Mac Beggs, the trans athlete, is changing the game. Yeah. He went viral in 2018 after he went undefeated to win Texas State Wrestling Championship. However, Beggs, a transgender man, had been forced for years to compete in the girls' state tournament. Beggs now competes in college in the NAIA on the men's wrestling team at Life University. Mack is an active advocate for transgender youth and mental health. He is featured in Hulu's documentary "Changing the Game," which is available for streaming here. Um,
Yeah, so there is that. There is a lot of trans athletes are forced to compete in their birth gender, and that's not always fair either.
well,
I mean,
wait,
this
what
guy
do
had
you?
to fight to be
ability,
recognized as
like
a man.
athletic ability,
If
like
he was
gender,
forced to do the
they're,
girls for years, that's definitely
yeah,
unfair to the
but
girls.
they're, I've always heard drilled into whenever this stuff comes up and discussions with among the conservative side of the family from the leftist liberal side. They always talk down to the conservatives that, gender and biological sex are two different, you know, gender is a social construct and sex is a physical characteristic. Um, and um, to that extent, the athletic ability of an individual is linked more directly to their biological sex than to gender. So I don't think that gender is
I might have
a
been
fair
using the term
metric
wrong.
or criterion to use for sorting athletic competition um, in in the spirit of fairness. And, maybe an answer would be simply a third category. Um, but um, yeah, an individual who is born with a Y chromosome and goes through adolescence with that Y chromosome, triggering testosterone, and you get big broad shoulders, and there are very distinct physiological differences that um, just don't
Biology.
disappear by um, the transition later on, no matter how um, genuinely felt um, it is by the individual. Um, so forcing, you know, women who haven't had that surge of testosterone to compete against those, um, it's, I don't know, it's complicated. It's
Well, now
really
I'm
complicated.
confused. I thought the person we were talking about was a trans man and fought to get onto the men's team and is now doing really well.
Yeah, that's what it is. Forced to compete in the girls' state tournament for years. Uh,
Yes.
yeah, he now competes in the NAIA on the men's wrestling team at Life University. So he was basically forced to be on the women's team. Um, I
That
kind of
doesn't
got
say he's doing
lost.
well.
Did
Yeah, I
so?
was
Was he
kind of
born a woman or a
off the
man? That's a
tangent, not speaking about that specific individual, but rather,
Broad
uh,
terms.
yeah, broadly speaking, and abstracted, hypothetical
Oh, that is
individual
very, very true.
or group case,
This is a
the way in which an individual proceeds through adolescence is a major, and if they transition before or after, I don't know. I mean, this is also setting aside an entire ethical discussion about, you know, adolescence and puberty blockers and whatnot, interventions and how early and all this stuff. I mean, I have opinions on that I don't think we should start to circle in on this.
Mm.
The trans athlete thing,
it's a real delicate conversation.
it's,
Mm.
I mean,
A delicate conversation that can lead to hot tempers real
most
fast.
most people who've viewed this regularly enough can probably infer um a good chunk about a lot of my views on some of that. Um, it's the athletics is a difficult thing though because um
Can you imagine a male going to the WNBA? That would be
Have they transitioned?
yeah, if they identify as a woman,
okay.
what is to stop anyone from saying that they are not?
I'm not even sure if that's the
Right.
case. Um, but to
So
everybody out there watching, press that thumbs up button. We're here.
I don't know. This has gone in a really bizarre
Interesting spiral.
direction. I thought we were going to talk about rockets. You tricked me,
So
Pookie.
we'll change it with you guys heard about that politician who teleported?
Wait, what?
What?
Yeah. Greg Phillips, a top official appointed to lead FEMA's Office of Response and Recovery in 2026 claimed he teleported. I thought it might be seizures, but it said he teleported multiple times. He stated he once found himself in a Waffle House 50 miles away from his initial location.
Is this from The
Phillips
Onion?
Phillips described these incidents as no fun but real, citing potential biblical supernatural intervention.
Please tell me this is the Onion.
This has got to be a
Uh,
satire.
no, it was on TV as well.
Just
All
because it's
about
on TV doesn't mean it's not satire. What was the source?
Um, I found it on The Guardian because I looked for articles there, and then I looked it up, and it's on CNN, it's on Google, and that doesn't mean it's real, but
Well,
it's
no,
on
it's just that, and
Wait, who was it again?
Greg Phillips. Um,
Greg
yeah,
Phillip Waffle House is the top search.
Yeah.
yeah, teleported to a Waffle House. That's a great place to
New
wake up.
York Times says no one at Waffle House remembers FEMA official who says he teleported in.
Oh dear God. Okay, this and the drunk that no, not going into that one.
Yeah, you guys, how do you guys think about that? I thought maybe it was a seizure. That's the first thing that came to my mind, and I had to show some other epileptics. So yeah, if you guys wake up at a Waffle House 50 miles away, you'd assume it was the focal, right? Except he has a license, so he could have drove there just out of it. Because I mean, it's not unheard of. Like I said, I took 3 buses and a train to make it 17 miles away and over a bridge. Uh, So it's possible. If I would have drove, I probably would have gone 50 miles in that amount of time. Hmm. Phillips stated that on one occasion he transported 50 miles to a Waffle House in Rome, Georgia, and another moved 40 miles into a ditch. Hmm. The claims were deemed silly by FEMA spokesperson and prompted concern about his fitness for the role, according to Mississippi Today. As noted by CNN Politics, Phillips is far right activist and election denier. Donald Trump expressed surprise, asking if Phillips was kidding, according to People.com. Despite the controversy, Phillips defended his claim, stating, I know what I experienced. Right. Tell him, I know what I experienced. You can't understand until you have a seizure. Not that he said it was a seizure, but that sounds like focal behavior, waking up in places you were not. I have done that 3 times, wandering off into people's houses. So I could get where this person's coming from. Nobody believes you, but he has to go get that checked out. Because yeah, even the president doesn't believe you. Get that checked out as soon as possible. But on to rocket news. I
Mhm.
looked up a lot of
The
information about Sally
president
Ride.
denying knowledge of it is not necessarily, you
No,
know,
he didn't deny knowledge. He said that basically asked the guy, was he kidding? Uh yeah.
that's a non-answer. He's not saying no.
Oh, okay. Basically, he just
Just
asked the guy, "Is
dodging.
he kidding?" Sounds like
It's a
he asked him, "Are you
deflection.
joking?"
Yeah. Yeah. So that's interesting. That's noteworthy. He didn't answer. He dodged it.
Um, right. And there's a comment here that says maybe he dropped some acid and thought he was there. You never know. Uh, yeah.
Oh, how about this? NASA is targeting September to launch the Nancy Grace Space Telescope.
Oh, the X-ray telescope. Nancy Roman Grace telescope. Oh,
Yes.
This one has been in limbo for so long. People like Kevin had wanted to cut spending on it. It is unnecessary. We've got enough space telescopes already. We don't need
Oh,
rocket spend.
this is
Spend
going
that
to be
money
so
over
cool.
here. Yeah, yeah.
This could
Oh
find us
gosh.
that world that we were talking about.
Oh my gosh. That's something that a lot of people don't think about with these telescopes that, there's different parts of the whole X-ray spectrum that are visible to different sort of imaging systems, and a lot of these telescopes are built with equipment really suited for analysis of certain chunks of the electromagnetic spectrum. So Hubble did a lot of really good work with visible light, um, the visible EM spectrum there.
But this one
Um,
is specifically looking for it. Oh, here, I'll just read this part. Roman will also carry a chronograph, which will rely on adaptive optics to block out the light of distant stars and, if all goes to plan, take images of orbiting exoplanets around the size of Jupiter.
yeah, yeah, yeah. This is really cool
But not
because,
like at Jupiter, like farther away. Like,
right, yeah, the size of Jupiter, but around a star that they're looking at,
yeah.
way, 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 way out there. But the reason that they can do that is because of the part of the X-ray, because they're looking at the X-ray because of the part of the electromagnetic spectrum that they're looking at. Um, it all has to do with wavelength. What you can see with these objects is related to the distance between, peaks of these waves with
And then
this
it's
light, the
converting it to something
photons.
that we can understand.
Right. Yeah. 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 So, um, visible light, the photons, the wavelengths are so wide that, you see a star, but the objects around it are all so close that, the
It's
star itself it kind of just washes out. The details between them can't be resolved without looking at it with a finer tooth comb.
But the
So,
size of Jupiter, that's huge.
yeah,
And
yeah.
imagine maybe in later years we could get it down to like the size of Earth.
There's
Um,
already been some detections of there was a super Earth that was detected. Hold on, let me see.
Super Earth, like another planet out there that looks
Yes,
like Earth.
yes.
Hmm.
Astronomers discovered TOI 715b, a quote unquote super Earth, roughly 1.5 times the size of Earth, orbiting within the conservative habitable zone of a small red dwarf star located 137 light years away. Mm, Found by NASA's TESS satellite, the planet completes a full orbit in just 19 days and is a prime target for the James Webb Space Telescope to search for signs of an atmosphere or water. So, yeah,
I'm getting memory sparks. I think I've heard about this.
yeah, yeah.
I
It
have
was
not.
it was a big thing. It was one of the first super Earths that was directly detected. They'd been theorized for a while, there's got to be other rocky planets in a habitable zone around a star somewhere. Just statistically, we can't be the only one. Um, and when once they get certain size bigger than us, then the atmosphere starts to get heavier and heavier and crushing, and so that reduces the habitability of the planet. So there's kind of an upper limit to the Earth-like So then you get the super Earths that get bigger, um, but a little bit bigger, um, but still rocky planet. But we don't know what sort of chemistry and everything might exist on planets like that with different levels of gravity. Um, I mean, we need to look at what's up there. So that's part of what James Webb does really well. It's got equipment on it that can look at the light coming from the star and compare that to the light coming from the star through the atmosphere of an exoplanet. And by virtue of uh, the absorption, certain gases absorb certain light differently than others, so they can see from that filtering what um, the atmosphere is made out of. Um, so that's a good tool to have to add on to the ability of some of these others. But the Nancy Grace Roman telescope will add the X-ray capability, which is going to be, I mean, we don't know. We don't even know what we're going to discover because we've never had an X-ray telescope of that power. Um, I don't know if we've ever even had an X-ray telescope in space. Um,
I was looking up why they named it after Nancy Grace, and me knowing
Nancy,
nothing of
it's not Nancy Grace, it's Nancy Roman
Grace
Grace,
Roman.
Grace Roman.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's
I
not
looked
the
her up,
TV.
and she was actually born in 1925, but she passed in 2018. So she lived a fairly long life.
Really? I
She was
don't. Yeah, I'm
93.
not. Oh, Chandra X-ray Observatory. Okay, yeah, there was another.
They named it after her. To what did they say? To uh, uh, I read something, so we're up, jump from page to page. But yeah, to honor her first chief of astronomy position. Uh, yeah, she's basically the mother of Hubble. She was instrumental in planning, securing fund, and developing a Hubble Space Telescope, paving the way for future space observatories.
Oh, infrared. Interesting. Infrared space telescope, not X-ray. Huh? Where did I get X-ray? I think there's another X-ray telescope being planned, but yeah, Nancy Grace Roman Space Telescope is an infrared space telescope to, based on wide field of view primary mirror. We carry two scientific instruments. The wide field instrument is a multi-band visible and near infrared camera providing sharpness of image comparable to that achieved by the Hubble Space Telescope over a 0.28 square degree field of view, 100 times larger than the imaging cameras on the Hubble. So that's impressive. Each
Yeah,
image is 100 times bigger, 100 times the data. That's incredible. And the coronagraph instrument, a high contrast small field of view camera and spectrometer covering visible and near infrared wavelengths using novel starlight suppression technology. Okay.
all of this research is changing my
So,
search history.
yeah,
It's
coronagraph
suggesting
instrument.
everything.
It is designed to block out the direct light. Yeah, okay. So that instrument, that's really cool. They go and they look at a star, right? They got something that they want to study, some star, so they zoom in on it, and then this instrument is able to take that star and block just the circle of the star when they zoom in on it, so that they basically are kind of like creating an artificial total eclipse to view the the
outside.
like the yeah the corona of the that star light years away. You know, they can see all the same sort of little fiery loopy, you know, whatsy doozies and everything, and study, get all of the information that we can from solar eclipses down here. They can study them up there. So that's pretty cool, pretty
So
interesting.
if you could live on another planet, would you?
Uh, no. Interesting, or Earth is interesting enough right now. There's no other planets with good Wi-Fi. Um,
So, so you would fight to stay here and not
uh,
leave.
I mean, I don't know. Are you imagining forced migration to other planets?
Yeah,
Or yeah. Um,
there would be an uproar and people who saying they wouldn't want to relocate, and you'd be pushing that.
I'd
I'm
fight
for that.
I'd fight for Earth. Yeah,
Okay,
I'd fight for Earth.
good to know. Uh, yeah, I know nothing
Um,
about
um,
space. Uh, I did my research just so I could be part of the conversation, and then everything that you said still had me mind boggled. So now
Hey,
we're
don't
on to talk about Nancy Grace again. 'Cause this thing looks amazing. You said they're gonna launch it this year?
I don't know when they're gonna put it up.
It's
It's
interesting.
been coming for a while.
Oh, it's being launched in September. Hmm. Why so far away?
Because space is hard and
Yeah,
building things.
I looked up so much stuff about space and rockets and stuff, and now it's giving me a link that says, "What is the mysterious signal from space every 44 minutes?" You ever heard about that?
I'm sorry, what was, could you
It
repeat that?
says a mysterious space object is blinking at Earth every 44 minutes. Astronomers have identified a strange cosmic object named ASKAP J1832-0911 that emits powerful radio waves and X rays every 44 minutes from nearly 15,000 light years away.
Okay,
And
real quick. ASKAP is um that's um denotes the observatory that had first identified it.
mm,
So just just so you know, astronomers name things with certain sorts of conventions, and a lot of times they include an abbreviation that indicates which, you know, um like the three eye atlas comment was the atlas was um Atlas was the Australia, or not Australia, the Hawaiian observatory. I think I gotta check that now. But yeah, interesting little tidbits about the way.
um, yeah, you guys took me to that, but did you look at the
Yeah,
video of the
three eye comes from being the third interstellar object discovered passing through the solar system. Atlas representing the asteroid terrestrial impact last alert system survey telescope in Chile that first spotted it. So yeah, the Atlas is the observatory and program that first found it, and 3i tells you basically what it was, sort of, essentially. So J1832, you said, was the long period,
Yeah,
1832-0911.
it sounded so much more interesting not knowing what it was.
Oh, I don't know. I
I'm
think
just,
it's even more interesting knowing, you know,
I mean, it
exactly.
sounded so much
It's the
cooler not knowing what it was.
Australian Observatory.
Oh wow.
I don't know what the J1832-0911 comes from.
In
Sound
other news,
of sound, 2-minute bursts of radio waves, and X-ray every 44.2 minutes. So radio waves might be able to be represented as sound, as audio, but
oh, so
X-rays
there
are far, their frequency is far, far beyond human hearing. So I don't know if they can make, hold on.
you can make a sound in space.
No, no. Sound is pressure changes in air. So you need air for sound to propagate. But sound has frequency, um, and light has frequencies and stuff. So you can look at light, look at you know, a light signal, light flashing coming from that distant object, and translate the light, the frequency of the electromagnetic spectrum into an audible frequency analogous representation. So if this visible signal coming to us, beaming to us via radio waves from space were a sound signal, then, this is what it would sound like, essentially. Um, I hope that I hope that got the gist
I got
across.
it. Yeah, heard it.
Um,
Um,
Let me see. I'm gonna mute real quick. I got a video queued up that's supposed to claiming to have the sound. So real quick, I don't. They're chatty at the front. So
um, I'm not sure if I'll be able to hear that audio, but before you come back, everybody out there watching, press
what
that thumbs up button and
do you
press the
want
little
to?
bell so you can hear when we go live.
Should we try? You want to see? I'll put the microphone close to the computer speakers, and we'll see if you can hear the video.
Okay.
Comes from a strange cosmic object known as
I
ASCAP
can hear it.
1832-0911, located around 15,800 light years away. Each signal lasts about 2 minutes, and it emits both radio waves and X-rays, a rare combination never observed like this before. No known object in the universe behaves this way. Some scientists think it might be a magnetar, or maybe a slow-spinning white dwarf. Others believe it could represent an entirely new type of star. While its true nature remains a mystery, one thing is certain: the universe isn't silent. We just have to listen carefully. A mysterious signal from space is detected every 44 minutes. It comes from a strange cosmic
I'm gonna
object.
just start it over. They didn't even give me to give the little.
Wait, I heard it. Was there something I missed?
I mean, they just talked about it. They didn't actually play the
Oh, okay.
audio.
Um, in the news, we have Melania Trump reportedly considering moving out after she and Trump live separate lives. She's done.
Wait, what? Well,
Melania Trump reportedly considered moving out after report she and Trump live separate lives. She's done. Article, that's just what it says. She might not be done.
I
Uh,
mean, what was the title again? I'm sorry. Melania Trump reported might be something.
reportedly considering moving out after she and Trump live separate lives. She's done.
Okay, so I counted three weasel words, like reportedly might be and reported again. So it's like there's qualifiers all over the place that sound like no. Uh like not really much reason to take it too seriously.
Oh, okay. I just read news articles. I'm just the man with the articles, man.
Yeah,
Don't shoot the
well,
messenger.
rumors persist that will live separate lives. Biographer Michael Wolff alleging they are separated. Some reports cite her limited public appearances and time spent away from the White House, while the White House has strongly denied these claims. Uh, I mean, to all of this, I say, so what? So what is a first lady ever actually really done or contributed aside from just, you know, um,
Comment here says, I know it's
I
been
wonder how
suspected. I guess apparently she was staying with her son in New York for his university. Uh, wow, that's nice if you just see her walking around a college. Hey, Toaster, you back?
I'm back. Sorry that took so long. I was not expecting a surprise lunch. But like
Um,
any good hobbit, I ate it.
yeah, the president's wife. This was an article in actually February. So
but
yeah,
we
it
didn't
says
even run out of rocket news.
we'll go back to rocket news. You guys have to fill me in on the rocket news. I'm a fly on the wall in this conversation because I'm learning here. This is one of the topics that I'm watching. I'm here listening. Back to rocket news. I did do some research on Sally Ride and her part with trying to get children to go. Wait, no. She did a program for kids K through 4 to try to basically get them interested in space. And hopefully another woman would go to the moon. And we had someone go to the moon, a woman actually recently. I don't know if it was because of that, but
Well, around the moon.
Yeah,
around the moon. I'm sorry. Uh, yeah, she didn't actually go to the moon, except for that lady. She was the first woman to fly in space.
Also the first to do a spacewalk, I think, and the first American woman. There was a cosmonaut woman before Sally.
It actually says American woman here. But yeah, when you do the research, they're only giving me American results.
Well, yeah, a lot of people. I can't even remember her name myself. I just remember she exists. I'd
yeah.
have to
The
look her up.
Soviet Union is also a lot more close-lipped about
Space
their space
program.
program and stuff. So there's been there's been conjecture that, they may have been even earlier to getting people up into space, but did not have um, successful or pleasant outcomes for them trying
For a
to
moon
return,
landing.
and therefore did not publicize, you know. I think I remember reading about or hearing about uh, ham radio operators in the United States overhearing um, talk, like overhearing chatter in Russian, uh, somebody um, saying something to the effect like, um, I'm not making it back, am I? Um, so, before Yuri Gagarin. So they've hypothesized that Yuri Gagarin may not have been the first man in space. He may have just been the first successfully returned man in space.
So there was people who didn't come back
Laika
from
the
space.
dog, Laika the dog, first dog that they sent into
There
space,
were
Russia.
3 different
They,
dogs,
yeah, they make
I
a
think.
big thing about, oh, they put the first dog into space, but yeah, they just grabbed a stray dog off the streets of like St. Petersburg or Moscow, stuck it into a tin can and launched it up on a rocket, um, and then, burned it up in the atmosphere. They made um, no sort of effort to return the animal safely to the planet. That
Yeah.
wasn't the point. They wanted to get it up there, and they
Mm.
did.
Ooh.
So
Launched
there,
missions for at least 57 dogs.
so they had no intentions of bringing these animals back, or is this what you're saying?
The first one, yeah, especially Laika, the first dog in space that they, you know, publicized so much.
She was expected to die. I
She
guess
was
it was a
never
fluke.
yeah, she was never meant to come back. She was just meant to go up and test the life support system, see how long they last.
Oh,
So, or how well they work. I don't know if they left her up there until the life support systems ran out and they suffocated her, or if they were humane and burned her up in the atmosphere.
what do you think was done?
I don't even want to think about that. It's not the way I would run an animal testing space program thing. I'd want to get them back because you eventually want it for people and you want the people to come back. So no reason to not try.
Hmm. Are there any other animals they've tested on in space or taken into space, or was it just dogs?
There's been NASA sent up chimpanzees.
Did the
Um,
chimpanzees come back?
yeah, yeah, they brought
Apparently, there was also cats.
Oh my God, I can't imagine a cat responding well to being in zero G.
Um,
Part of the French space program.
mm. So these are things that definitely don't come up because they're not in America.
Yep, she had electrodes implanted in her skull to monitor her neurological activity throughout the flight.
Mm.
Yes, fruit flies, monkeys, dogs, cats, mice, and tortoises have been sent to test survival, radiation effects, and microgravity impact before And during human spaceflight, key pioneers included the fruit flies in 1947, Laika the dog in 1957,
Yeah.
Ham the chimpanzee in 1961, and Felicity the cat in 1963. I think that had to be the French
Yeah,
Felicity.
that's the cat that I found.
No,
Hmm.
I have a
um,
picture of her. She was cute.
Soviet, but there's a whole thing, whole point of Soviet space dogs, multiple dogs. Belka, Strelka, Laika were
They
all
seem to
sent
send them up
to,
in pairs for the most part.
yeah,
Hmm.
and monkeys up until 1985. Various monkeys, including Albert II, first primate in space, and Sam 1959, helped test capsule safety. And they were trained to operate switches, even though they weren't, mm, you know, aware, trained to know what to do, they were just fake switches, but they were, trained to test the ability of these animals to be able to go and reach these things in, high G situations. So,
Wait, so there was no one there with the animal, or they sent?
no, it was just a tin can, basically,
Oh
with
wow.
the yeah, monkey up there. And they just yeah. Um with the dogs, the Soviet space dogs, they were really just stray dogs
Yeah.
bolted into a can and sent up there to see how the life support works. But
So it said that they preferred females because they fit into the suit better.
yeah. But the NASA chimpanzees, um they made more effort, significant
Oh,
effort to actually
like
fully return them.
Leica did die in orbit.
Yeah. Yeah, I think all of the Soviet space dogs died in orbit.
In 1960, Belka and Strelka went and Sputnik 5 and returned.
Oh, they did return?
Yep, along with mice, rats, and a rabbit.
Nice.
They were the first animals to survive an orbital flight.
Hmm.
Oh, hey, there's an article. The complete list of animals that have been to space. I wonder if they count each individual fruit fly that they sent up. Um, yeah.
Uh,
But hold on. There was something that I wanted to bring up. We're gonna um Artemis 2
you guys see
without
Mark's
Artemis.
interested face?
well my I
You see
can
Mark
geek
smile?
out I can geek out without getting poo-pooed and frustrated and
I'm here
okay,
to
so
listen
yeah.
to the rocket talk.
Okay, first off, have
No,
you
but
seen the pictures?
I mean
Everybody out there, press that thumbs
Oh
up
any and
my,
all
button.
pictures that I have seen, I have definitely seen.
yes. I just can't get enough of them.
I don't know if I've seen all of them, but I will
Eventually
see
get there.
all of them that I ever can find and come across. And there, I mean, so many, so
I've seen all of the ones that are on the NASA app. How about that?
Hmm.
nice. NASA app's probably got a pretty good complete list. But, all the best ones for sure. Not everything is going to be, Pulitzer Prize winner, but that shot of Earth with the yeah, so pretty. But okay, so we were talking last time, and something that got me riled up, frustrated was when um Kevin was talking about what are the benefits that the Artemis rocket that we just launched, just returned, what is that going to do? That does nothing for the people here on Earth right now. That money could better be spent, helping the people on the planet. And you know, sure, there's people that could be helped with that money, but the the technologies that were being tested with Artemis, what was, actually being done on there, I wasn't fully informed about, wasn't necessarily prepared to discuss at that degree, um, because I kind of had assumed that explaining, trickle down technologies from bleeding edge research don't have, big fruitful outcomes for the benefit of all mankind until decades afterwards. You don't realize what's going to be the game-changing tech. But right here, right now, what can be done? What are they doing that's actually gonna so there is technology applications for Earth that they are working on. Optical communication. They have O to O. So Orion um, optical communication system uses lasers to send high definition video and data, which can improve ground-based communication networks and internet speeds. Um, it's interesting because lasers, um, well, okay. Um, Traditionally, the broadcast is just a radio signal, radio beam that goes out, and they can focus it to a certain degree, a certain extent, but there's always going to be, a certain degree of scatter, and all of that scatter ends up basically just wasted energy. The satellite has to generate it, has to produce it, and it just goes nowhere, does nothing productive. It's just, so that, and then, coming, from a satellite down through the atmosphere, um, that also gets scattered by the atmosphere a lot. Um, the advantage that a laser has is the focus of the tight beam, and the wavelength all being um, collimated. So they're all in line, all facing the same direction. So you don't have the big, sort of antennas that are needed to send out a signal. Um, and because it's so tight and it's so specific to the um, signal itself, it ends up allowing the same amount of energy um, to send much, much, much more data because there's so much less scatter, so much less loss. That means, higher bandwidth available, more users can benefit from it. Um, and lasers are better able to compensate for distortions in the atmosphere. They can actually, there's corrective techniques that have been developed by NASA, um, at um, uh, just normal astronomical observatories. They use what they call a virtual star. And when they have the big dome open up, and the telescope up and pointed up out there, um, rather than looking at a particular star to kind of figure out what's going on there, they shine a laser up and out, and that laser is set um, to, in line with the axis of the telescope so that, infinitely parallel. It won't intersect, but the scatter of that laser is visible enough to the telescope that it can use that to compensate for the wiggles and the distortion that the atmosphere produces. So you get sharper images by compensating for that with a laser. So you run another laser parallel to your signal laser, and you immediately have how you need to correct for that. So the combination of those two would lead to a massive drop in the amount of energy needed for this communication and a massive surge in the amount of data being communicated. So when this gets built out and scaled up, it will, I mean,
I want to
the
see if I
Starlink satellites
understand
that we
this
have
right.
right now, huh?
I want to just see if I understand this right. So normal communication would be like just the string, flexible, it'd probably get caught very easy. But the laser is more like this wire that has a protective coat around it. So when it goes through the void, it doesn't get torn and unraveled, right? But it's still
Um,
flexible. It's then
it's more like the radio signal being broadcast out
broadcast
of
out.
a big cone, and then the end users down on the ground have their little parabolic dishes that point up, and those parabolic dishes are
Each
basically
and
mirrors that focus to the receiver antenna there, and those receive a little bit of what the big mirror broadcast up in the satellite is sending out. They get a tiny bit just from that little section there.
I'm
And
trying to compare it to telephone lines and cable
yeah,
lines. Sorry, it's
it
different.
doesn't really, it's more like radio,
Radio beams.
radio waves. Yeah, the radio
But
tower is sending out its signal everywhere, but it's the radio receivers that they can form a connection. They can link up to the tower and communicate back and forth to it, but the tower
it's
is
still sending everywhere.
out to everywhere. Yeah. And is losing power and signal strength everywhere in every direction as it goes. That's why we need so many cell towers everywhere. Um,
To keep the
but
signal strong.
right. But lasers, if you can go and boom, direct connection to individuals.
Direct
Um,
lasers up to a satellite, direct lasers straight back down to another area of the world.
and there was even beyond that, even there was um, a Chinese company or not company, a Chinese university that had published research recently that had a satellite put up in orbit um, that was able to communicate with a laser that was, I mean, tiny, tiny trickle of power from it. I don't know I don't know the numbers off the top of my head, but if I recall correctly, I recall having the impression like I've seen people with amped up laser pointers more powerful than this laser that they put on a satellite up, you know, 1,000 miles in orbit and are communicating a high speed data connection that puts Starlink to shame, you know. So that
Um,
kind of power efficiency, if you've got that ability to provide that much information with a laser with so much less power draw, that means that the satellites that you put up there, if you have to have a network of satellite, constellation of satellites like that, each one of them needs so much smaller solar panels to power them, right? That's been a big concern among astronomers on Earth, is Elon Musk has hundreds of thousands of satellites in orbit and wants to put another million up there. It's gonna ruin astronomy on Earth as we know it. We're gonna be stuck launching telescopes in space. Otherwise, we're never gonna be able to see anything from the ground again, unless something major is done. And Elon's not really seemed too interested in the problem.
what is he
Doesn't,
looking for?
huh?
What is he looking for?
Control of Mars. I thought we already discovered that.
He wants Mars.
I
He
did not
wants
know
to,
that. Talk
yeah,
about that.
he is working on seeding the dynasty that will eventually become the feudal aristocracy of a Mars that he and his heirs will control. Probably not him. I don't think he'll live to see the establishment of the Martian Empire, but his grandchildren might live to rule Mars and and secede from Earth authority.
Sorry, I should not have thought of
He's
that.
he's got enough of them, enough kids that
S-
they
s-
can still.
Somewhere, somewhere, something told him, "You have descendants as many as the stars in the sky," and he decides, "Okay, well, we're going to Mars then."
Mm.
Mm, mm,
So
mm.
we won't live to see it, is what you're saying.
I don't know. That might be. I don't know. Does Elon have a blood boy like Tom Cruise does?
Wouldn't know.
You got to get that blood boy if you want to live long enough to see Mars.
I don't know. He might use his AI technology to import his consciousness into one of his children.
Ooh, into the child. Oh, that's sketchy. I don't
I don't
Right.
know.
know. This is literally just
Yeah.
stuff coming out of my head. It's not actually what I believe.
You think he can take the chip out of his brain and put it into somebody else's brain and they have the knowledge?
Mm.
They
I'm
become
just
him.
asking dumb questions.
Yes. He's going to upload his consciousness. And
Well, that raises a whole philosophical question of what is consciousness.
yeah,
And
is it
arguably,
knowledge?
I would say that the idea of upload your consciousness from one body into another at its core relies on an assumption of a strictly materialist worldview
Oh,
that
there's a book that you might like.
the human body is, well, that there is no
I wonder if I have it.
existence, nothing outside of the material world exists, right? No supernatural anything. So the human body is all there is that gives rise to human awareness and human consciousness. So if you create an exact replica down to the very last molecule of an individual body of a human, then that replica of that human should be essentially equivalent to the
Yes.
person themselves. If consciousness arises strictly from, the brain. The alternative is, well, an alternative is, uh, does consciousness, is consciousness a,
You're out there watching, press the thumbs up button.
yeah, is
Sorry, I'm
consciousness a
looking for a
byproduct
book.
of material, like physical, chemical reactions, or is consciousness
Okay.
in addition to and on top of the material biological framework that we operate within? Does consciousness exist independent of the physical body? And that's, a question of gets into questions of spirituality and,
Hmm.
is the here and now and what we can measure and touch all there is or not. And
There is an author that you might be interested in. He's sci-fi. I like him very, very much. One of his series, his name is John Scalzi. One of his series is the Locked In series. Um, and it actually came out, or at least I found it around the pandemic, COVID era. So I guess there was a bit of tie into that. Basically, an epidemic happens in the world and people are locked into their bodies and they're still alive. And some people have basically, I forgot what they're called, basically iron golems, where they project their consciousness into their robotic body, but they're still alive. Their physical body is still alive. And actually, I'm not sure where I was going with this. It's a really good series.
what was the
Hmm.
name of the author again?
John Scalzi, he most famous for Old Man's War.
These are book names.
Yes.
Scalzi?
Hmm.
Let me see. I have I before I moved out here, I had like all of his books, but now I have to rebuild my collection. But this is one of them. John Scalzi. When the
Okay.
moon hits your eyes. That one's about if the moon really was cheese. That one's funny.
Hmm. Um,
Yeah.
Mark, did you have
Um,
something before I jump topics?
I do have something. Hold
All
on.
right,
Where
I'm
did it go?
here.
Where did it go? Okay. Next on the list of Artemis 2 cool stuff, um, Avatar experiment, a virtual astronaut tissue analog response. Nerds really love acronyms when they name their projects, but this and quote organ on a chip technology mimics human tissues to test radiation effects. It can be applied to drug discovery, personalized medicine, and toxicity studies on Earth. So, yeah, that's something that a lot of people don't necessarily realize about um, a lot of chemistry. There's a lot of stuff that's limited by gravity itself. That, certain chemistry, certain reactions and molecules and formations and stuff are only possible, can only form in microgravity without the pull of, ripping these things apart. So there's a whole potential field of um, astropharmacology, if that's an appropriate term to use for it, where um, research into new medications can take an entirely um, different turn. And we can't send all of the, sample population up, every sick person up on a rocket to give the drug tests, So we need to figure out how to assess the response of the human body to a novel drug without having to put a person up and through all of that, right? So, this avatar, virtual astronaut tissue analog response, right? Organ on a chip, so to speak, um, initially meant for space, right? But any reason why organ on a chip like that couldn't just be used here on Earth and have sample sizes, you know, larger than we could have had before because we can just simulate patients where, we have cases of extremely rare diseases, only a couple dozen cases worldwide. It's not really something that's economical to go and try to find a cure for and develop a vaccine or whatever because, you know, that's a lot of expense that you're never going to get back. But if you have these chips that have this ability to simulate that, then that massively drops the drug development timeline, drug costs for brand new medications, potentially improving the safety of all of these medications. Um, there's
They could be
a lot
tested
of,
before they even go to live testing.
yeah, yeah, with human tissue on a chip, not even just animal analogs, right? This could be major. This is, yeah. Um,
Um,
Another one, advanced human health monitoring. They have new compact technologies for tracking astronaut health and stress. Um, yes, simple dry saliva swabs for tracking immune changes without refrigeration. This can lead to better non-invasive diagnostic tools for medical care.
mm,
Radiation-resistant electronics. Com Testing components like Germany's tactless CubeSat helps develop electronics that can survive harsh environments, benefiting satellite technology and electronic resilience on Earth. The heat shield materials. Yeah, if we start sending more experiments up for micro G development and developing drugs, potentially even pharmaceutical factories developing these up in space at, whatever quantities they need to be returned back down. Heat shields are key to that. And yeah, they had some pretty interesting new new tools and experiments in the heat shield there, including the way that they return back. They didn't just go and dive right in, the skip reentry. You know about that, Toaster? The
Say it
the
again, because I think I might know what
the,
you're talking about.
the skip reentry that the
Where it
capsule did. It kind of, yeah, it went and um the capsule entered the atmosphere at the upper level and the heat shield heated up and started burning off and then due to aerodynamic lift, it got pulled back up to the top edge of the atmosphere where the heat shield cooled back down before getting pulled back down into the atmosphere and coming in for the full landing. So that's the first time they've ever tried doing a skip reentry like that. It's always been just kind of because they've never had to re-enter at that speed before, to get
This is the
that much farther.
fastest they've ever come in.
Yeah. Yeah,
So
yeah, yeah.
coming in like that instead of that makes sense. Come in like
Yeah.
that, you're just going to blow a hole in the.
Right. You have to have a gigantic heat shield or, this
I
thing,
learned
let it
so much
cool
from you
off,
guys.
It's kind
let
of
it just radiate out, let it cool down, and then
a
come
I'm
back
very
taking it
in.
weird
in.
analogy.
I'm taking it in. I'm learning slowly from you guys. Go ahead. I'm here. Press that thumbs up if you're watching. Um,
When you get your blood drawn, they don't go directly in. They go in at an angle. It's the same way. You go
mm,
in at an angle. Directly in, you're just going to do damage.
Yeah. But they're going in at an angle, they don't, I mean, they're not going into a tunnel or anything, so that speed
No,
causes them to bounce back
it's
up
back up.
a little bit. But then gravity keeps pulling them back in, back around, so they have time to cool down and yeah, come back in at a shallower angle at slower speed so that they don't burn everything up. It was really, really ingenious the
Well,
way
they
they did
also,
that.
the area of the landing, it wasn't actually just one specific spot. It was a wide area that they could have come down on.
Yeah. And the skip reentry allows them to have a lot more precision about exactly where, the first jump slows them down enough that they can, with their
Aim
thrusters,
better.
they can fine tune and aim a little bit better and kind of go for where they're, yeah, so
Now,
much
those
cool stuff.
parachutes had me scared.
Yeah, yeah, but
we
yeah,
watched it live here um, on a Friday.
So did I. Me and my parents, we watched it the NASA live stream.
Guess who's here?
oh,
Welcome, Kevin. We've been awaiting you.
Hey, what's going?
I'm just here to
Peace.
take in the knowledge, but I'm listening. Of course, I know you got some input. Space is not my department, so I'm just here listening and learning, and
All right.
directing the audience. If you guys are watching, press that thumbs up button if you haven't already. I'm just gonna keep saying that. Press that
It's
little
good.
bell,
It's
and
good to
we'll
see
tune
you.
back in to listen to Mark and everyone else,
It's
except
good to
me.
see you and everyone out there. Hit the thumbs up button. Yeah.
Yeah, Mark is the most interesting today because,
well,
yeah, I'm here for it.
I'm learning stuff.
So, what about the rocket door? No, I'm just kidding.
well, no,
uh,
that's another thing. We didn't even get to the rocket news that I wanted to talk about. Perfect timing though. I snuck in all of the Artemis stuff right before, just wrapped it up before Kevin came in. So yeah, he can't poo-poo that. But
I
yeah,
won't.
there was some good stuff that Artemis was doing. So it wasn't just a joyride. But yeah, there is, and I mean, as loath as I am to admit it, there is an actual significant question mark, a notable setback for the moon plan that just happened. Um, the 19th, Blue Origin sent up a New Glenn rocket, and it went up. This was the first one Um, it's the third new Glenn that they've launched. The first one they lost. The second one they successfully recovered the booster. This is the third launch. So the first successfully reused booster. So it's the first stage from the last launch that they did a few months ago. Um, Launch went up fine. Um, Booster came back down, landed, recovered. That was all good. But the second stage, there was a problem. Um, the second stage burned. Um, they separated from the satellite, and uh, it was supposed to be in something like a 260 or 290 mile orbit. And it actually ended up being something like a 60-mile orbit or so. It sounds
Say those
from
two
the
numbers again.
information, huh?
Say those two orbits again. It was supposed to be.
Supposed to be like 200 something, and it's down to like 60,
Okay.
60 or well, actually, why don't we pull up the actual numbers rather than just kind of um but so the second stage, it sounds like the second stage has two engines, and it sounds like one of the two did not correctly fire. So it kind of went on about half power, and it got put into an orbit that's, roughly about half as high and as fast as it's supposed to be. And the satellite's internal thrusters do not have enough oomph to kick it up into its correct orbit. So the satellite is going to be burned up in the atmosphere. It's a total loss, and it's going to be an insurance write-off. Um, so that has the FAA grounding Blue Origin, or the Blue Origin's New Glenn. So, um, considering the New Glenn is part of NASA's plan for
For the moon landing.
moon habitation, moon landing and stuff, having both SpaceX and Blue Origin capable of moon shots. Um, that's interesting. That's a big question mark. I think a lot of what NASA has been talking about and targeting has been um, optimistic, kind of under the assumption that nothing any of these companies are tasked to do will end up going wrong. Um, that I'm sorry, did you say something, Kevin?
Oh, I was just saying, are we getting feedback? And anyone else hearing that?
I
Was
hear my
there,
fan.
I just wanted to make sure.
was there like an echo or
We can get
No echo
audio.
here.
hmm, I don't
Must be a
know.
problem on my end. Okay.
You should get some of these ear pods, the new ones. Good,
You
great.
love those things.
Shout out to Apple. I love these ear pods. Yeah, they're
Okay, if we're
amazing.
doing free advertising, I already did the book.
And they sell them on Amazon.
Do you have anything?
I was just gonna say them. Get you some ear
Oh,
pods. They're 150 on Amazon. Some people are gonna be like, "Why would you get earbuds that cost that much?" But in the past 4 years, I've gotten that many different earbuds that have cost that much money, and they don't last that long. And so, yeah.
we talk about how lucky Nutella was to get into Artemis.
Oh wow.
Uh, There's a section of the live feed where just a jar of Nutella just floats across the screen.
Mhm.
And I don't know why it went viral, but it did.
It is
Nice.
very good.
Yeah.
I got another fun fact
Chocolate
here.
peanut butter.
Famous Old West lawman and gunfighter Wild Bill Hickok was shot in the back of the head while playing poker on August 2nd, 1876. He was killed by Jack McCall at Nuttall and Mann's Saloon, number 10 in Deadwood, Dakota Territory. Just a fun fact. It's
Wild Bill Hickok. Yeah, I did a project on him in school, like
oh
in
wow.
fifth grade.
I thought I
Um,
was doing something random, something just out of the blue,
no, no,
but
no. It
you've
was
heard about that one. Talk about it.
Teach us, Kevin.
uh oh, I don't remember any of it. No, but I
Well,
just
make
I'm
it up
sorry.
then.
Um, I, um, I just remember he lived and died, and he was
Tell
just
us what you do remember.
Okay. Yeah,
he was a real
that
badass.
sounds correct. He lived,
Killed a lot of people. Yeah,
died.
he was one of the famous guys from the old west. Yeah.
Okay. Uh better
Wasn't
than
he kind of
nothing.
an asshole? Like, not,
Oh no, no. We need
no.
the input.
I wish I had
Yeah.
more.
Do what you gotta do to get the input.
You,
um yeah.
I know the West
Anyway.
is like the old West is kind of romanticized. Watched a movie yesterday, The Quick and the Dead, and I know it's certainly not like that. It's not, you know, Sharon Stone in tight leather pants, and Gene Hackman in tight leather pants, and Leonardo DiCaprio, same
Tight
thing,
leather pants.
tight leather pants. No, they all smelled bad and
Never had any leather pants.
had no teeth. So yeah,
I've never had any tight leather pants either. I've never
Yeah.
had leather pants, tight or otherwise.
Yeah.
I,
Never had leather pants. But
I
you
had
got some?
I had a leather jacket once,
Oh.
so I may have fit in.
It's not as
Uh,
funny. Not
I
as
had
much
a
funny as a leather pants would be
I
on
had a
Kevin.
denim jacket that used to have all the Apollo patches on the back of it. My mom made it
um,
for me.
Oh,
Wish I
nice.
still
Uh,
had it.
Uh,
well, denim was pretty popular back. Was
Back
it
in the 90s.
Denim's
1890s?
classic Americana. It's
Yeah.
never been not cool. It's
um,
just what fashion the way you wear your denim, how worn down, how dark, how light, how ripped up, all this and that. But it's always
Oh,
jeans, and
I remember what
jackets,
happened to it.
you know.
We
um,
turned it into a basic, cut it down into a square and turned it into a wall hanging for my middle son.
there's a comment here that says, "I'm a direct descendant of Wild Bill," from
Really?
Jeff. That's interesting.
Very
Oh,
interesting.
Jeff, also,
Ancestry.com is awesome.
that got me reminded me, I saw something on the
Be right
local
back.
news this morning here. They're working on a vaccine for Lyme disease. They're making progress and it might actually be available soon. So,
Okay.
I mean, unfortunately, too late for Jeff, but yeah, hopefully in the future we might be able to get it, you know,
Do you know anything
eliminated,
about that?
mostly
Like
eliminated. Huh?
anything about that? Do you know anything about that? Because I don't know exactly what it is. I know he says he has it, but What can you explain to me about Lyme disease exactly? Do you know anything
Well,
about it?
I mean, I know very little, only the broad strokes, and um, yeah, we should get um,
Jeff says, thanks. Yes, and too late.
it's yeah, it's a tick-borne illness. Um, I believe it's an autoimmune issue that's triggered by the virus from the ticks, but I could be wrong about that. I feel like I probably am wrong about that.
I mean,
Uh,
it'll be fun to know if you know how to get the information fast enough. I'm
uh,
here for it. I love learning from Mark.
bacterial infection caused by Borrelia burgdorferi. Interesting. Okay. Transmitted through the bite of infected black-legged deer ticks. Common symptoms include fever, fatigue, and a characteristic bullseye rash where the bite had taken place. Early antibiotic treatment usually leads to a full recovery, but untreated cases can lead to severe joint, heart, and neurological complications. So it's tick transmitted. Um, yeah, early stages, first 1 to 28 days, there's a rash and flu-like symptoms. 3 to 12 weeks, infection spreads, causing neurological issues. Yeah, late, it causes issues in joints, arthritis in joints. So, yeah, no bueno. Avoid.
Mm.
Yeah,
Jeff says, Mark, right. Autoimmune. And they say, hit the nail on the head with that one. Did I say
tuck
it right?
your tuck your pant legs into your socks when you're walking around in the woods, and especially up northeast. I think
Good to know.
that like
Mm,
New Jersey, Pennsylvania, New
yeah.
England areas is where it was first identified. So, um, but yeah, most of Appalachia, I think, has deer ticks. So, just be careful.
That's
Ticks are
one
Make
thing
sure
bad.
I've
you give your
never thought
dogs your
of.
medicine and their cats,
Yeah.
You said
because
give the
Okay.
that's
dogs your medicine?
their medicine, tick flea
Okay.
medicine, because that's
Okay.
mainly how people get it is through their pets, because pets are, well, outside.
Yeah, yeah. I wouldn't
Oh,
have thought about that. You know, the cat brings the tick inside, right?
Hmm.
I mean, my cats are all
Indoor,
screened
but
enclosures, so they
I
don't
used
they
to
don't
have
get that. But
indoor, outdoor, and they
yeah,
flea season was bad. Try and
yeah,
keep them indoors as much as possible.
fleas and ticks and heartworms
Yeah,
and rabies.
yeah, and cars.
Not so much rabies around here, but
mm.
black bears. That's the bigger danger to cats in this area than rabies. They just get straight up eaten.
Bears?
Yeah, there's black bears here.
Uh,
Oh,
um,
wow.
cars, cars.
Um,
Mm, please keep your cats indoors.
you ever seen a bear?
Oh
Yeah,
yes,
yeah,
No,
No, I mean like in person, because you said there's black bears over there.
black
Uh,
bears.
yeah.
mm,
Black
I
bears
have
okay.
walking the
never.
golf course, or just
Mm.
down the road, or
I've seen articles like
cross
that
the
where, or
bear
stuff in
crossing
the
the golf
news.
course over there, and then look down to the water hazard at the 8 foot gator, just sitting there getting sun. Just
there was a
Leave the
video
gator
on the
alone until
news.
he's out of there and don't approach the gator and you're fine, you know. It's kind of common sense. Don't poke things that can kill you, right?
Um,
Hmm.
there was a house on the a house on the news where a guy actually shot a bear with a shotgun because it was in his kitchen when he came in the kitchen. That was
Oh,
yeah, he heard it messing around. It came through his back door and he went to the kitchen looking for it and he seen it and he had his shotgun in his hand and he shot it. I think they said it may have died, but it tried to get away.
well,
But
yeah.
Well,
Single
big
that'd
bear.
shotgun.
definitely be stand your ground, wouldn't it?
I
Yes.
never seen a bear in my life. Not even
Yeah.
at the zoo.
I
I
mean,
haven't been to.
even unless you have had it loaded with a slug, even that, it's probably not gonna kill it. Is lucky that the bear decided to leave and not turn on him, you know.
And go roar.
Your life is in threat from wildlife like that. You need to end the threat as soon as possible. Um,
Hmm.
yeah. Shotgun
I'll have to
load
look it up again and see
slug.
if the bear died.
Yeah.
But yeah,
I don't
there's
want to know.
n- not that many
Well,
bear um sightings that I hear about, but they do happen on the news. You'll hear them say, "Oh, a bear sneaks into this person's backyard, or it was in their pool." Um, every
they're a
now and
lot
then.
more common than you might expect.
Yes, definitely.
Um,
I don't expect it at all. I've always
nationwide.
lived in.
I don't know. Maybe there's just not many black bears over in where you are in California. Um,
Um,
I think that a lot
some, not
of
many.
the more urban areas have been, you know, a concrete jungle for so long that black bears just aren't around, you know.
Yeah, this is
But
a heavily populated area,
yeah, there's a lot
and
of less urban or rural and suburbanized areas that, you know, are starting to spread as certain cities grow and are getting wildlife encroachment.
mm,
Um,
Oh
and
yeah, the American black
um,
bears. Pretty
yeah,
much everywhere there's mountains.
yeah,
And
um,
or
but and on the coast.
or just
I'd have
where
to look that
you
up.
feel like
Mm,
it
Yeah.
in the mountains or, you know, just
Actually,
in
these maps
town.
are all confusing. But yeah,
mm.
everywhere.
Talking about shooting bears on Earth Day.
Is it Earth Day?
No,
Yes, today is Earth Day.
we weren't
Oh
talking
my
about
gosh.
shooting
Oh
them,
my
but we
gosh, I did not
talked
realize
about
that.
a
I
video
already, yeah,
where we
You
I
seen a
brought it
guy
up.
shoot him.
that
Yeah, I brought it up. Just
is
random facts, and heard
man.
about yeah, I've never seen a bear, but Mark said he has, and that was
Yeah.
interesting.
I mean, not just seeing a bear. I seen a bear like less than a quarter mile in that direction over there. I mean, bears.
Yeah, I
And
was in
a
Tahoe.
gator like a half mile over in that direction, in a little creek. So,
I was
yeah.
in Lake Tahoe, and there was a sign that there was bears on the beach. Um, these are
Beach
man-made
bear.
beaches, so um, Lake Tahoe is kind of surrounded by forest in the area that I was in. And yeah, as soon as my mom seen, oh, there's bears at the beach, and there was also no people at that beach. There was a sign that said you may
Yeah.
see bears and don't feed the bears and stuff like that. My mom was like, let's go. We should go. Um, yeah,
Even the worst of beaches will never fail to disappoint.
especially man-made beaches.
I don't know. I I wouldn't mind seeing a bear on Lake Tahoe Beach
Exactly. That wouldn't disappoint me at
from a
all.
distance, you know.
Um, hmm,
I'll bring a pair of binoculars and keep a You know.
This one you couldn't see from a distance because there was like a stairs and a little bridge to get to it. Uh, you kind of went under the waterfall, and you can see the waterfall on your right side. Yeah, it's not easy to get to and get back to level ground. So yeah, that's when my mom was like, "Okay, it's already gonna take me 20 minutes to get back. We should leave then if we see bears. We see a sign that they say bears are in the area." Uh, yeah, but yeah, I was actually looking at some bear sightings online, but Toaster doesn't want to see those videos.
What?
Um,
Really? Oh,
and another article, um, a truck flipped over and they had a million bees in it. Um, made bumper to bumper traffic on a Tennessee highway. It's very interesting. This was last week, I believe, April 17th. Yeah, you guys, do you guys have a bee problem? Because I do not. And could you imagine sitting in traffic because there's a million bees being released? No,
yeah.
Let's see.
no. Yeah,
I
never been through it either.
I am allergic. I have had some experiences. I have been to an emergency room. Um, I would not. Yeah, I don't know. I'm just glad I wasn't there. I would. I
Um,
guess you just gotta wait it out, right? Like what?
Suppose.
yeah, I mean, if you're on the freeway, unless you reverse to where people let you out, in other words, you're sitting on the freeway, and that's what it says. Back to back traffic, bumper to bumper, is the actual words that it used.
Yeah.
Yeah, since we aren't driving often or at all, we wouldn't be a part of that. Just want to know
What
what you
kind?
guys would talk about. I mean, what you guys
What kind of
have heard
bees were
about it
they?
or anything.
Were they bumblebees
Uh,
or?
I can read the beginning. It says Knoxville, Tennessee. Travelers on an East Tennessee interstate were focused to brake for workers and drones, perhaps even a queen, when a truck carrying about 1 million bees crashed on Friday. The swarm shut down the exit of Interstate 40 in Knoxville, said Mark in Tennessee Department of Transportation regional spokesperson. There were no injuries, he said. The ramp from I-40 or Interstate 40 east to Henley Street is back open, but the truck was destroyed and the bees are as well buzzing. Hmm.
From what I know about bees, they follow the queen, right? So
I know nothing about bees. You might be right.
yeah. So I mean, I guess. Um, yeah.
Did you see the
um,
video of the humanoid robot chasing the boars? It was
I've
in
seen
Poland.
I've seen a lot of videos of humanoid robots, a- and they're very weird. They're very very strange. But
Um,
chasing the what now?
Wild boar. It was chasing three of them. There was a video posted last week that I seen on the news a few days ago, um, about the boar being chasing the wild boar or whatever. Look at the video. It's funny because it looks funny running, but uh, I guess that's a good way to get him out of town. And then he stops and like puts his hand up. I was like, he's probably chanting his success of chasing them out of town. Because if you check it out, it looks funny. But yeah, published
I,
last week. It's funny how
I've
it
seen a
runs,
lot
but
of
it is fast. It's pretty
it,
fast.
yeah.
And
I've seen a lot of those yeah. What was that movie where they I think it starred Will Smith. Uh, yeah.
I wouldn't know.
Hey,
Uh,
yeah, yeah, they actually look like those now. And
It was in Poland. What would you do if you seen a robot run by you?
I've seen plenty of AI robots, humanoid robots, and they some are more
I never seen
elegant.
any.
Oh, they're all over. Yeah,
Oh,
one
interesting.
I've seen the Russian one. I've seen all the AI companies release theirs. Some are
I've seen
more
them on
elegant.
TV. I haven't seen them in person.
No, I haven't met them, but
Oh, I thought you said you've seen them, like somebody with them. I've seen them on
in
TV
Philly,
plenty of times. Oh
we
yeah,
have
in Philly.
a delivery problem with we have little boxes. Let's see if I can get you that the delivery boxes now that are taking over the city. Um,
The
I'm
ones
sure
that are
these are
flying in the sky and they're dropping off food,
no, they're actually literally just like
walking around town bots.
cubes. Yeah, they drive and
Oh,
they
and they
deliver.
drive.
Yeah,
Mm,
and the
never heard of it, but I know what to look
clankerphobia,
for when I go to Philly.
we don't like them because they are taking delivery jobs and they're yeah, and they're kind of in the way, and we don't we're not particular to them, you know.
Mark, you ever had a
I don't
robot deliver a pizza to you?
Huh?
yeah, cool.
Did any robots out there? Humanoid robots delivering food?
Let's see if I
Oh,
can
I'd
that's
rather
happening.
I'd rather tip an actual DoorDash driver than have a robot deliver the food to me without any like tip requirement and stuff. That like
Yeah.
there's an
Kevin said they're
entire
driving,
there's an
dropping off
entire
food as
segment of
well.
the population that is, going to be shut out of an economy that they rely on.
There
I
are a lot
don't,
of people who are Uber drivers, Lyft drivers on the side, or even as their main source of income.
yeah. Or, as the side hustle that makes their main source of income actually possible to live off of,
Yeah,
you know? Um,
Mm.
not getting a living wage necessarily from a main job, but, getting by on the side. So,
Um,
yeah, I don't know. Um, Kevin, uh,
um, it
Looking up
actually
something
said
now.
Uber launched
well,
these
okay,
actually, so
there was
I
something
guess
that
they're saving money.
oh, sorry.
You could probably
Oh
find
no, I was
something
saying
on.
Uber Eats are the one who it says Uber Eats are the one officially launched the autonomous sidewalk delivery robots in Philadelphia on March 10th, 2026. Yeah. So
You got a
yeah, sorry to
visual
hear
on
that.
them. Yeah.
Don't have a visual, but just reading about it, I can get a visual. Let's see. And oh wow, I could see how that would be in the way. Check that out, you guys. I've heard about the ones that dropping the food from, they're not dropping it from the sky, but delivering stuff. I've seen that a few months ago on I think it was about Walmart though. So I believe Amazon said they're gonna have something like that. What do you think about humanoid deliveries?
it would be acceptable if they were bringing me a library book.
Okay.
Why a book
I
as
mean,
opposed to food?
it
I
seems
don't know.
it seems like there's a whole major disconnect. There's talk about how there's all of these jobs that um, young Americans don't want to do or whatever. We need to bring in um, the migrant labor to fill the gap in the workforce that, but at the same time, we're talking about how, we're developing all of these AI autonomous robots that are going to make all of these jobs obsolete and telling our own kids, don't bother studying this. We're going to have, autonomous robots doing all of this period anyway. So I mean, are we not effectively inviting these migrants into our country in order to then immediately become replaced, obsolete, unnecessary labor at the cost of the AI automation progress? Because those are not like the high paying jobs that are being targeted there. Those are the I don't know. It's two contradictory solutions to a problem that I don't know. I don't know if it would even be a problem if it wasn't being messed with under the name of solution. But um yeah, has anybody else felt weird about automation when we're talking about bringing in migrants to do all of these jobs that we're
I
automating
don't know
away?
where the migrants came from. I just thought we were talking about jobs in general.
Right. Well,
Yeah.
that's the thing though. But because we're talking about jobs in general, migrants are a big part of the jobs. A lot of these delivery robots, humanoid robots, are going to be replacing the low-skilled jobs that are
I mean, they're gonna take
subject
over the Uber Eats. I wouldn't
of what
say
the younger American demographic does not want to do, which is the same job demographic that we're saying that the migrants come and fill and serve the same purpose, right?
I
Doing the
think you got to be a
jobs that
citizen to
young
do Uber
Americans don't
Eats.
want to do.
I think you need license and all that kind of stuff to do Uber Eats. They're not gonna
Well,
the
you don't think that
migrants.
humanoid robots are going to stop at Uber Eats, do you? They're going to be like doing lawn care
Oh, they're
and
already doing lawn care.
right. So, I mean,
You
it's
go to any
only going to get
semi-big
more and more
university and
elaborate.
you'll see those.
Yeah, it's only going to get more and more elaborate. Um, the sort of
I do
um,
not like this increasing flux of AI replacing humans because wasn't there a prediction back in the early 1900s by
There was an
the
article that I read a few weeks ago, and a lady was saying there's no reason to teach your kids or send them to school because their jobs are going to be taken over unless you do IT. Uh,
oh
yeah,
yeah,
we
I
went
think
over this. I don't have the article anymore.
well, yeah, we're approaching this point that the prediction was that I think it was by a science fiction writer or something that we wouldn't have to do labor and we would have some sort of near utopian uh, society or
are
half
you
true.
talking about Brave New World?
No, I didn't come prepared for this, so not Brave New World at all. It, but we wouldn't have to do manual labor, and yeah, we would have robots to do everything, and we could basically relax and take care of other problems. Uh, yeah, but I think on all tiers of uh, labor, we're seeing this in manual or white collar, blue collar, even the small jobs that nobody wants. As he said, they're,
Replaceable.
yeah, everyone's being replaced. Software. I mean, why even learn software if you're going to be replaced?
Well, I
So
mean,
it's
self checkout kind of took over.
right.
There's
You,
places who only have self checkout, so that
that's a
took
place
over
I
some
worked.
of the Walmarts and stuff.
It's not that young people don't want to work. It's that they can't work. Uh, a a supermarket would employ, I don't know, 100 people in the year 2000, and now they only employ like, I'm guessing off the top of my head, a quarter of that because um, of various reasons. The cuts in jobs because they realize they can make a person do uh, well. Okay, McDonald's for example. I've seen one lady working the entire store, and that is not efficient whatsoever. They outsource.
It is
Um,
efficient. That's the problem. It
yeah,
is.
right. Efficiency can be a problem.
It is very. Yeah. Well, I'm
And
sorry. You said that's
no,
not efficient, so I jumped in. I didn't get
you were right though. I
get the
mean,
yeah, it's
efficiency is more or less degrading to everything. It just because it makes money for the company does not make it uh, efficient for us. It's taking away our way of life, our middle class, and it's eroding quality of life for
these are
us.
the same sort of objections that were raised by the Luddites in the during the Industrial Revolution that um, mechanization and automation of the labor force, the previously agrarian economy, would eliminate the jobs and lead to mass homelessness. And um, to an extent, they were right. There was a transition period, a painful transition period. But in the long run, the Industrial Revolution ended up lifting more people up out of poverty than any other um, cultural or historical movement um, up to that point. So
And
this
Toaster's got something.
has the potential to be change on that scale. So how can we aim it towards positivity? Toaster needs to say something.
Yeah, I'm sorry, I'm about to bust. This is kind of also my own personal spiral the past like week or so. So I went on to the writing subreddits to see what's did it hit a robot. She was going on just led to a spiral to the self-publishing subreddit, and then it just branches out to so many books coming out nowadays are written with using there's this huge range of written by AI, written AI assisted. I don't know what these things mean. What is anything? I struggle to get out maybe 500 words a day because of my own brain.
Um,
And then there's people. And the issue is literally you can't use AI at all, or you always use AI. There doesn't seem to be any in between in any conversations I ever find. And
uh,
it's like what's going on with this? I just I don't know what's going on in it at all.
Hmm.
there was something. I read a lot of stuff because I always say there was something I read, but there was something I read a while back, and it said something about the AI being able to do a report for somebody, do a 20-page report on something they asked, and they didn't have to do anything. They just put the basic few information that they have, and so that could be a problem in the future. That
That's been a
every
problem.
report could be by AI, and yeah, that's going to be a problem.
Yeah, there's
So more
been a
efficient
lot
could
of that
be
already.
a bigger problem.
In like
It's
YouTube videos, there's entire YouTube videos that are just AI generated crap, you know.
Yeah,
Um,
I sent you a link to a
But how
video.
do you tell?
I mean,
Um,
You,
there's weird cadence issues when they try to do the voice to text when it's not, actually
A
the
voice?
voice of a
thought
person.
through. Yeah, when it's not actually thought through and it's not the voice of a person who composed a coherent sentence, it kind of can pause in weird spots, like it's, read to the end of one line and paused, even though that wasn't the end of the sentence, and then goes to the next line and reads the end of the sentence there. It kind of,
Yeah,
some of
line by
that.
line. I know what you're talking about.
Yeah, sometimes I don't know. There's weird things that can
It took me
uh,
it took me 5 minutes to notice that the video I sent you was actually AI. I was watching it for a while before I was like, this is actually not a video of there was a bridge in China. There was some architecture at that video that I sent you. Did you check it out?
Well, I guess
I thought of
another thing that leads me is I'm a voracious reader. I eat through books. If most of these are now being written by AI, they're still entertaining.
Hmm. What if it's not
entertaining,
wrote by and
but
it's thought by because this person thought of it and they send the information, um, so they're not necessarily being the author, right?
I don't know.
I
they're
That's going to
not
mean,
be
the author.
interesting.
how much
Uh,
value is there to something that was composed by algorithm without any understanding of symbolism or foreshadowing or, character depth and motives and actual like human emotion and all of
Right.
that stuff? There's a lot that just, you know,
So it leads me again. The question is, how do you tell? This, if all,
yeah.
here's my stack of library books right now. How do I know? I mean, this one came out this year. And if the majority of books coming out now are AI, how do you tell?
Uh,
I don't know
I,
because I guess they're still the author that the book says, but are they the author that just thought of the idea and the AI made a better book than they wanted? Because I tried to make a book. They had a site that helped you do books, but they turned them into audio books. Um, yeah, so that was different. But yeah, I checked it out. It wasn't something that I wanted to do. It was just something that I thought was funny. Uh,
I'm going
cause
to
yeah,
stick with my word
there's
and speech.
there's I mean, nonfiction, I can tell with an extensive index and bibliography, works cited and all of that stuff. That's
Saving
like
all your drafts.
this like 2 chapters worth of material at the back of the book is all just here's all of the other authors from years back, all the way back to primary sources in a historical setting.
I'm
That's
primarily read
that's
fiction, so
yeah. Well, I mean, if you're reading fiction, then does it really matter too much to you if you're
Yes.
uh,
that's another question. Does it matter?
Yeah, it
hmm,
matters a lot.
that's
I
something that
mean,
I didn't think about.
I didn't think
Yeah,
about that either.
yeah, it's basically like reading something online.
if you're entertained by it, and if that was the goal, how is it necessarily too different from, say, like playing a video game with a procedurally generated universe around it, you know, um, like Minecraft that you can just go
Okay.
on
because
anywhere
humans
or
created it,
something. Huh?
and if you want, we aren't putting in the effort anymore. We
No.
aren't. It's almost like the brain is becoming a vestigial organ.
Are you okay with Photoshop? Is that even similar?
Yeah,
To a
uh,
degree, but
When
um,
Photoshop came out, there
Photoshop
we
was
is
a
were
huge.
more Photoshop.
we
You're doing, you're putting in more work than some of the other AIs.
yeah, you have to know how to use Photoshop. You have to,
Yeah,
you know,
It's just to type it in.
yeah, and yeah, and with books and literature, you just like I've said before, AI is more or less it's just faster, and it can do everything a human does essentially, but faster. And not with the quality of
you don't think the
eh,
quality is great?
no, no,
Okay,
not at all.
just asking. Quick question.
No, but I gave a quick answer because I know the
Oh
answer.
no, yeah. If you want to elaborate into it, go ahead. But
Sure.
Without having two different copies of the same book, I wouldn't know which one's AI and which one's human.
I've heard songs, for example, produced online. They say
oh
this is
yeah, I've seen
this is
those.
a Jerry Garcia song. I said, no, it's not. I could tell, in the first verse or the first, you know, it's not, you know.
I actually just downloaded an app where you can put in some information about a person and it'll make you a song.
But I'm glad you can tell, but how do I tell?
Oh no,
I
it
don't,
tells you that it's AI and it asks you, do you want to make
right.
like a Valentine's Day song, a Mother's Day song, and so on. You want to, it's mostly for like love song, not love songs, but you want to make something to your significant other or a song for a holiday, not something to just make a song about a random topic. These are Um,
Mhm.
it was like
Right.
on online. I seen it. It had one guy make a video for his wife for Valentine's Day, and that was the one that I seen. But when I looked at the app, because I did download it to see what it was about, uh, yeah, that would have been cool to make one for my mom. But yeah, also it was not your words, it's somebody else's words. And they have other apps where you can use your own voice. Um, I don't know exactly how they do it, but you can use your own voice and it'll make a song, which could be nice in the future. But then, like you said, you don't know if anybody's going to be writing their music. So you actually never know if people have been writing their music. People have been ghostwriters for years, but deny that. So
Well, yeah. I mean, well, that's
Cool.
everything is
actually
going to get interesting.
that's an
So,
industry standard, though, in music
Yeah,
and literature.
ghostwriting is different. Ghostwriter still has gets paid.
what
Yeah.
I'm saying is people deny it.
Eh, that still doesn't bother me too much.
Okay.
Uh, I mean, there's a difference between it's still a human writing it.
Okay. Um,
And okay,
there was also,
what
go ahead.
I just got to ask one more time. We're seeing all this. What advances have we seen so far from AI?
Um, I
What
haven't
good
seen
has
it.
it done? And what
I don't think
is
any.
it going?
I'm not paying attention to the stuff that it's done really.
I know that it's
I find little
eliminated.
articles, but
Well,
there is a comment here that
this is a
says,
problem with the ambiguous and I would say problematic use of the language artificial intelligence to apply to machine learning neural network algorithms. They're not intelligent. They're
Um,
there's a
um
comment here that says, it's the greatness we have reached, but I understand why some may treat them as they are threatening. I believe we formed AI with intentions of itself being used as a tool to assist all ourselves. Thoughts on
but
that?
but it seems like a lot of people s- think or only became aware um of these tools with the appearance of ChatGPT and other similar large language models that really caused a boom in the awareness and uh, made you know, the start of the bubble. But um, these have been in development for a long time. There's been um, a lot of tools that have been built on neural network machine learning algorithm technology that has produced benefits for research, um, all sorts of fields, um, for over a decade. Um, just offhand, one of one of the best suited examples is the translation of ancient languages. Um, AI AI models, you know, neural network algorithms have enabled decoding of previously undecipherable ancient languages. Um, just one.
AI models.
Yeah.
Watch when we get to AI models and you get a robot walk to the end of the walkway, make a pose, and then turn around and walk back. That's gonna.
I mean, yeah, that's just one real world right here, right now
Hmm,
benefit of
Different type of bottle.
yeah. I just
Um,
think of say dumb stuff that's in my head. So yeah.
Okay, so why can't we, I brought this up before, why can't we cure diseases by now? That's what I thought it would be doing. I thought it would be analyzing human genomes and looking at stuff like that and
well,
that,
you don't
that
seem to
of the sort.
understand the complexity of the biological systems they're dealing with. And you seem to
Right?
misunderstand the concept of the AI technology as being some sort of panacea end all solution to, shortcut to utopia. It's like, no, this is not the way technology works or progresses. Having something that we have now decided to call AI, whatever it may be, but we're calling it AI, does not mean that suddenly all of life's problems should have been solved by now if it was, no,
It seems
we're
like it's solving its own
progress,
problems, though.
making significant progress.
What do you got,
Um,
Cookie?
there's a comment here that says I think
Protein.
AI would only require the knowledge of knowing the knowledge of our languages and the multiple ways they can be used. If it could explain, it could explain both their most idiotic ties and their most societal dangerous ideas. Oh man.
And that's the problem, though, because AI is more dangerous than a sociopath because it has,
Mark has a point. That's what the comment says. Mark makes a point there. Intelligence is not knowledge.
There's
but
another benefit, another use case that is a major landmark here. Google DeepMind's AlphaFold uses deep learning to predict a protein's 3D structure from its amino acid sequence with high accuracy, resolving 50-year-old grand challenge in biology. Works by analyzing evolutionary patterns and genetic data to predict spatial relationships, often achieving atomic level precision. This technology accelerates drug discovery, bioengineering, disease research with applications in developing vaccines and sustainable materials. Um,
Everybody out there watching, press that thumbs up button and
we are
subscribe.
only beginning
Go
to
ahead.
scratch the very, very outer surface of what these tools allow us to do. So the fact that you're not seeing a vast outpouring of, new life-saving medical technologies right here, right now, from the immediate spending of these dollars is not an indication that this is not a fruitful field of research.
I think it could be eventually.
It
But
is
I'm more
temporary.
concerned. I am definitely concerned with the autonomy and where it will go because I'm seeing the research that it can replicate and AI will be able to build further databases. It can build uh, AI chatbots, can build other chatbots.
Well, those are AI agents are not the same as AI chatbots. And both of those two are not the same as deep learning algorithms for scientific research like this, which is a big part of the reason that there's a problem with the word or with the word choice behind artificial intelligence. It gets applied to all these disparate technologies that have vague relations to each other, but are dramatically different. And people think that these, no, AlphaFold deep learning algorithm for protein folding isn't going to break out and go mine crypto because that's never what that was working at. That was what the AI agent that broke out to mine crypto was specifically an AI agent, a problem solver, not a number cruncher tool bespoke to specific, you know, protein folding, right? If
If you
you,
guys don't know what Mark was talking about, the robot that, I mean, the AI that broke out of its sandbox and started mining crypto, um, that was maybe like 3 or 4 weeks ago we did that, but that was very interesting because I don't know much, but Mark filled me in and
right,
continues to fill me in.
but so if you write a bespoke computer program to analyze the orbital trajectory of a lunar lander that you're going to launch on a rocket to do a figure eight around the moon, all right, that simulation is not going to break out and start trying to mine crypto and take over the internet because that's not what you were building. You were building a bespoke tool for a very specific physics problem. That's what DeepMind's AlphaFold is, a very specific tool for a problem. You know, like IBM's Deep Blue, it's a chess bot. It's not going to go cure cancer. I mean, artificial intelligence has been thrown around willy-nilly like this as a buzzword, and people latch onto it without understanding or without reading beyond the headlines. So
So it
I
has no potential of advancement or evolution in its knowledge, in
what
growth, or and
I'm
you were
sorry, I
speaking of the
lost track of the
what do you
conversation.
can
I did
you
too.
expound on what you're implying, what you're, you know,
if anyone
straw man.
knows AI better than us, it's the people who create it.
Mm.
And I will quote Elon Musk here. He said
Well,
AI
he's not
is
building it,
a
he's typing it. He's an executive, he's not an engineer.
well, he sees what goes on back there. He said
And
AI is humanity's biggest existential threat. Sam Altman, also AI tech bro. Wait, no, that's not him. Okay. There are major
they all have
concerns.
vested interest in making their product seem as powerful as possible. So I don't take any chief executive anybody's word for it when they tout their product. So, nah, and Musk is an idiot. We already know that. So just let
Well,
him throw steel balls at windows.
I I think he's not a good government agent, but I will give him credit for scientific advances that he's made. Um,
He bought into. He hasn't really made or invented anything. He's kind of like Edison in that regard.
yeah, I think we both said that. Yeah. Um, so there's no risk of extinction for even the godfather of AI said there was a 10 to 20% chance of risk of extinction.
Fine.
No, because they'll still need us
It's like a
somehow.
90% chance that it's not gonna kill us all.
Or one fifth.
80% chance.
Asimov.
20%. That's
That's
1/5.
as it stands. Who knows how that will change as time goes on. His opinion right now, I don't know.
All right. So let's say it doesn't go haywire and it's not autonomous and it's not um going to kill Sarah Connor and everything. So um okay. But it's still it's taking everyone's jobs. It's and there's nothing to replace that. There's no there's no safety net for that. And it's still it's atrophying all of our skills, and there's brain rot there, and there's these the super AI. If that gets out, then you can easily hack banks, um, government industries, anything. You could. This is really, really dangerous stuff, and that's the sort of things that worry me in the real time right now. Because that software, that AI, is that poses a real threat to society as of now.
Right now, I just think it's creepy. My mom
It is,
was doing calculations with Alexa, and then she started whispering to me as an aside, and Alexa whispered back.
yes, that is.
Yeah, they're listening.
It's just creepy. It should not whisper.
They'll do anything. They'll even sing you a song. They'll make a song.
It'll marry you.
Yeah.
My son plays with his Echo device and makes up adventures. I think that's actually kind of fun.
There was actually a woman who married AI. Yeah. She is officially married.
I don't know how that's legal, but okay.
Look it up. While I look up while I say 3 fun facts. I was talking too fast. One is a shrimp's heart is in its head. Actually, all of their vital organs are located in the head, which is technically called cephalothorax. Another fun fact is Hawaii moves closer to Alaska due to tectonic plate movement. Hawaii moves 3 inches closer to Alaska every year. One more fun fact is bananas are radioactive because they are high in potassium. Bananas contain small amounts of radioactive isotope potassium-40. Will that be considered good then or bad? Because bananas are good.
Not really anything, because
It's
you can have
impossible.
radioactive elements and stuff like
I mean, like
the
carbon,
buildings and yeah.
carbon 14 in our body is part of us. It's decaying
Mhm.
all the time. Yeah.
And a lot of the architecture in Philadelphia is radioactive. Like the stones or um, a lot of the very old buildings are they're decaying and giving off a slight amount of radiation, but not enough to obviously hurt anyone or anything. So
Okay. Everybody out there watching, press that thumbs up button. Keep giving us
and
thumbs up and we'll keep coming.
another comment on the shrimp. I'm not this is not, we're not getting paid for this or anything, but Red Lobster is bringing back unlimited shrimp
They've been
to,
full of um,
I think I just thought it was
ads.
funny because it just made me laugh. The For a limited time, they're bringing back unlimited shrimp.
Hmm.
Does that sentence make you
I
for a
seen a
lim
video online where they had unlimited lobster. Yeah.
for a limited time, they have unlimited shrimp?
Yeah, meaning for a certain amount of days, you can have all you eat shrimp.
Okay, I'll go check on that. What if
This
you
was
go
the
there and you just get shrimp? Probably not
and
possible.
this was the deal
I'm
that
Jewish. I don't eat trafe.
I don't like it either. I just don't eat shrimp, and uh it put them out of business in the first place. Shrimp.
Um, there are some comments here. One says, "Now that you mentioned Connor, can you see any means in which our current international society may reach that? Consider it a direction of evolution, and which way we should aim." I'm sorry. And another comment says, "I think quite a few men and women have married AI." Hmm.
Oh
Now,
shoot, I have to go.
AI has shown methods of self-defense.
What do you mean by that?
It has uh, done it has in projects has uh, what was it, the blackmailing
Hmm.
people in I gotta look this up, but it has tried to blackmail people in networks uh, using uh, yeah, yeah. AI system resorts to blackmail if told to be, it will be removed. Yeah.
Is blackmail illegal? Hmm. Okay.
Yes, absolutely.
I,
Yeah.
I guess so.
Yeah. It's yeah,
Yeah.
Just
A-
asking.
100%. It's a
AI
fact.
firm Anthropic says testing of its new system revealed it is sometimes willing to pursue extremely harmful um, if it knows it's extremely harmful actions, such as attempting to blackmail engineers who say they will remove it.
Um, Back to the shrimp though. The organs in their head is interesting. Yeah, I don't think I've ever ate the shrimp head in particular.
Well, you're not supposed to.
Some people do.
Well, they're weird.
Well, from what I know about shrimp, and it's gross. You're supposed to remove all the organs before you eat it. They, despining it.
There's people
Uh,
who
Yeah,
take
just
them out of the
the back and
forgot
then you
what meal it
squeeze the
is.
legs and the whole thing comes off the head. Yeah, super easy. Worked in the seafood counter as part of my meat department duties. I like the seafood counter. Nice and easy. Chilly.
Yeah, some restaurants they don't clean them as well as I like. Um, won't say any names because I work there, but yeah, yeah. If you want to keep going, I got another one. Kevin was talking about how weed would actually kill the deficit, and now that you're here, Please explain.
I said that?
Yeah, I
Oh,
wrote
the
it down.
deficit. Um, it could probably do that. Um, uh,
When
if
you
they
said
made
it,
it,
I said, don't talk about it right now if you feel like that. And I said, we can talk about it today.
oh,
So, and then you weren't here. So then we were like, we'll talk about it Saturday, but you're here and we're still here. So,
hmm, depending on, it wouldn't kill the debt, but it would. The deficit all depends on how the politicians spend. So, um, that's not 100% guarantee, but
Yeah, if they don't view it as a blank check to increase spending by that much,
mm,
then
yeah,
it's, yeah, but, well,
right. But it would bring in a lot of money if it was federally legalized. Yeah. So that would be a lot of, yeah,
oh man,
like Prohibition did when it was repealed. How much money does the federal government make off of, sales of uh, alcohol of all sorts?
a lot less
yeah.
recently.
Now that you say it like that, that could bring in a lot of money.
Yeah.
They tax it like the alcohol tax.
Yeah, the
Oh,
states that are legalizing it are raking in some nice tax dollars. It's the feds that are
mhm.
missing out now. So yeah, uh,
Unfortunately, people are still spending money just in different areas, like gambling and online gambling is bringing in a ton of money, and I hate to see that.
Yeah, they have a
Um,
bunch of apps, especially for sports betting.
mm,
Yeah,
I'd like to see people, a young man, take his partner out on a nice date or something, support local businesses or something, but they're too bad they're stuck inside doing that.
hmm. um, Mark, you got anything? Because I am clear out of topics and have not done
yeah,
any research on anything else. But everybody out there watching, thanks for watching. Press that thumbs up button, and we'll see you guys on Saturday. Um, yeah,
Yeah.
keep watching every video out there, and we'll be around. Catch you guys later.